A lot of people out there, they say, Clay, I'm a sports fan. Why should I care what the NBA is doing with China? It's a fair question. And I'm about to tell you why you should care about it specifically. The NBA is taking billions of dollars from modern day Nazis. Let me explain what I mean by that. Historical analogies rarely directly correlate. But if you had to say which world power right now is most like the Nazis in the 1930s, the answer would be China. They have Muslims in concentration camps. They have forced virtual slave labor. They have no basic human rights. They are a totalitarian regime that is expanding their influence around the globe and just took over Hong Kong. They are pulling books out of the Hong Kong library if they mention democracy because they consider it to be a violation of China's authority. They also have made it a crime for anyone to talk positively about the Hong Kong protesters around the world. That is, if you leave China, come to the United States and say something positive about the Hong Kong protesters and then go back to China, they will arrest you. The NBA wants to talk all the time about being on, quote, the right side of history. They are on right now the wrong side of history on the biggest issue confronting the NBA. It is what is going on in China. Are we in favor of basic human rights around the world, democracy? Or are we going to allow China's authoritarian brand of communist totalitarianism to take over the world instead of our United States vision? China has got us all fighting inside the United States, Democrats, Republicans, independents, all throwing punches at each other while they are taking over Hong Kong. China's release and inability to stop and be honest about the coronavirus is far more devastating economically to the United States and other Western democracies. But the United States in particular has been more harmed by the coronavirus than we ever were by the Nazis. Let me repeat. The United States has been more harmed economically by the coronavirus, which China allowed to come to our shores and did not stop in its country, than we ever were by the Nazis in the United States of America. So historical analogies are not perfect, but effectively what the NBA is doing is they are taking money from our modern day version of Nazis, the Chinese, and they are doing it and to subvert American values. The NBA won't allow you to put free Hong Kong on a jersey that you buy in the United States, but they will allow you to say, fuck the police. All right, I want you to think about that for a moment again. You can't say free Hong Kong on a jersey in the United States, but you can say fuck police. Okay? The NBA is working for Chinese propaganda. All right? Everything that they are putting on the jerseys at the NBA is going to be used as propaganda by the Chinese Communist Party to argue to the Chinese people, look, things aren't very good in America. This is what happens with democracy. It fails. The United States is in a Cold War right now with China, even though most citizens haven't recognized it. And the NBA is taking China's side in exchange for money. It's a massive deal. Now, the NBA is not alone. There are a lot of companies out there doing this. ESPN, Disney, Apple. We got to start to stand up to China. If I were president right now, I would cancel all outstanding debt over the coronavirus. I would pull all the manufacturing jobs that I could out of China, put them into other countries. Certainly anything that is important that needs to be created, we need to be making it in America right now, okay? We have to recognize a lot of you are younger than me. A lot of you don't remember what it was like when the United States was in a Cold War with Russia. I do. People have gotten fat and lazy in the United States of America. They don't realize that we've got an enemy, that China is filling all of our social media with hate. They are trying to make us fight against each other so we don't notice what they're doing, the coronavirus, taking over Hong Kong, the South China Sea. Also, they want to take Taiwan. This is all what is going on right now. And the NBA is an important metaphor because of the Daryl Morey tweet for why we need to stand up to China and why we can't allow our American sports leagues to become communist propaganda like we are allowing right now. Okay? Moreover, you got Adam Silver, LeBron James bending the knee to China. Chairman Z, think about this. Adam Silver said we express mutual respect for China, and nobody even talked about it. Nobody even mentioned it in the media. Mutual respect. What does Adam Silver respect? Does he respect democracy book bannings? Does he respect concentration camps? Does he respect a lack of basic human rights and individual freedoms? There is no reason to respect China at all. They are a totalitarian dictatorship which has no respect for us. We should have no respect for them. This is why the NBA matters, all right? You can't just shut up and dribble and take money from China and then claim that you're social justice warriors when you're ripping down American institutions in our country.